This conference will now be recorded.
So I will go back to the trial balance and repeat, this chart of accounts, and I'll try to remember to put these charts of accounts in, but they're in the order that your ledger should be in and your trial balance. So this is the order, this numerical order. And then also here is the normal balance in the accounts, whether it's a debit or credit. And so if you end up with a balance that's not like what you think, then it's not one of these, and you want to check to make sure there's no error. Sometimes it will end up that way. But you have the current assets, long-term assets, current liabilities, long-term liabilities, stockholders' equity, revenues, and expenses. So that's the order that we expect them to be in. So once again, we're going slowly through each journal entry, so that there's no reason why you can't make these journal entries. Okay. So we'll start today. Wilson, are we ready? You all should have consciousness and be on it. Is Wilson here? We'll give him time. Okay, we have a question available.
I can do it. Unless someone else wants to.
Can you not hear me?
No, we couldn't hear you, but you can take it.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, great.
All right.
So what?
Do you want me to start off with the transaction type and then say the rest?
Correct.
Okay. So the transaction type is 1, and the accounts will be cash 100 and common stock 400 with 200,000.
Okay. Stock. So if you're next up, you can just go ahead and turn your mic on. That way we won't have that big delay. And cash, as you said, is 100. And common stock is what? 400? Or 300?
Yes, 400.
Okay. And what's our amounts?
200,000.
And how are we going to post those? How are you going to post them?
Cash and with 200,000 in debit and common stock with 200,000 in credit.
Does everyone see that? If it's a debit in the journal entry, it's a debit in the T account. If it's a credit in the journal entry, it goes on the credit side. Okay. Next up is Wooten. See here? Okay, so let me.
I could do it if he's not here or she's not here.
Okay, go ahead and do it then.
All right. So it's purchase inventory 200. Okay. So the account number, the transaction type, sorry, is 12.
Transaction type is 12.
Account number is 120 for inventory and debit 200,000. And then account number 301 for account payable, 200,000 credit.
So let's go ahead and post those.
Right. So it'd
We're gonna-
be debited 200,000 for inventory,
We're debiting inventory for 200,000.
and then crediting account payable for 200,000.
Okay.
Professor Boyd, you actually, I think you put my name instead of my last name instead of her last name. It was Jennifer Hong. Yeah,
Oh,
you put my
oh,
last name.
okay, so
I told you I'm finna take these points, Mr. Boyd.
yesterday. Okay. Next is Sims.
Transaction type is 12.
Transaction type is 12.
Debit dividends. Credit cash. The amount is 20,000.
What does type 12 say?
I mean 10, my bad.
Okay.
Type 10.
We're crediting cash.
Yes, sir.
What's our account numbers?
For dividends is 455. And for cash is 100.
What's our amount?
20,000.
And let's go ahead and post these where we're posting them at.
For cash, we're gonna credit 20,000. And for dividends, we're gonna debit 20,000.
Okay.
Professor Boyd, you put 10 instead of 20 for dividends.
Dividends. Thank you. Okay. Neely. Is Neely here?
He's not here.
I can go
I'll take
if
it.
there's no one. Okay,
Yeah.
you got it.
We'll let Jones have it.
On number 4, right?
Correct.
So you put land 150,000. Cash. Oh, it's 7 and 12. Cash 50,000, and then no payable 100,000, and it'll be 7 and 12.
Okay, so we have land. We have cash.
Yeah,
No payable.
for 150, 100,000, and cash 50,000.
So the land was 150.
Mm-hmm.
We paid how much down?
150 for the land.
How much did we pay down?
50,000 down in cash.
What type was that?
Put 50,000 down.
Yeah, what type?
7 and 12, and no payable 100,000
What's the 7?
for cash, and 12 for no payable.
So what is a type 12? What is a type 12? What's the account number for land?
200.
What's the account number for note payable?
350.
What is a type 7? Now, Desiree, you supposed to look on your note on your desk. Had these typed down. That's being hard here. What's type 12?
Can I answer?
I guess.
Mm-hmm. A type 7 is an asset purchase with
Like
cash.
12 is purchase of this.
12
It's
is what?
okay.
What's a 12?
What was that?
What is a type 12?
Hello? Type 12 is purchase of asset.
Utilizing what?
Debt.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I guess maybe you're fading in. So that's using debt, whereas 7 is purchasing asset.
And
So
12
we
is
had
purchase asset, utilized debt.
a 12. Whereas 7 is purchase of an asset utilizing what?
Yeah, and 12 is purchase of asset, utilizing debt.
Okay. So make sure you're getting that down, because remember, these are supposed to be 2-minute journal entries. Okay. Mukasa here.
So for number 5, you debit rent expense, and then you credit cash.
Debit, rent, expense, credit, cash. What type is it?
It's a type 9.
What's type 9?
Payment of an expense.
Okay. What's the account number for rent?
651.
What's our amount?
25,000.
So we'll post this, and then we're gonna come back to you, Dedrick, so you can post yours. So how you gonna post these? Where are you gonna post them at?
So for cash, you post it where the debt on the debit side. I mean on the credit side, my bad.
Okay, so cash on the credit side.
Yeah, 25,000.
All right. I guess we need a land account, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
What's
I
the,
was just about to tell you that you forgot to do 4.
I'm gonna come back to it. Give Desiree time to do it, get to it. Land. Wait a minute. This was the rent one, wasn't it? So and I just put these expenses as we get into. So we had rent expense, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So what's the rent? Well,
So the
you're
rent
back.
is debit.
For how much?
25,000.
Okay. So Desiree, go ahead and post yours.
Okay, so you will do land, you will debit land, and you will credit cash and credit note payable.
How much we debiting land for?
150,000.
Crediting cash for what?
50,000.
50,000. And what else we crediting?
No payable.
So this will be the long term not payable. How much we crediting it for?
100,000. Don't you subtract the 150 and the 50?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, 100,000.
Which
And on the
is,
long term, uh,
so you just take it straight. You've already done the numbers. You just transfer them into the journal. Okay, Kelly.
Okay, so for number 6, it is a type 9 because it's a payment of expense.
Okay.
The expense is office salary expense, which is $650. I also have a question about that because when I look on the chart, it's 2 different ones for office salary expenses. Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. We just go with the
Okay.
first.
Okay. So yeah, I put 650 and then cash, which is 100. And we're gonna debit 50,000 and credit 50,000.
Professor Boyd, I put a different account for that question. I just put sales salary expense because it just says sale expense.
Just say sales salary.
It says salary expense. That's all it says. So that's why I just put sales salary expense.
Okay, doesn't matter. But I'll
All right.
try.
It's okay if we just leave it as sales expense.
Now, if it's salaries, we want to know it's salaries.
Oh yeah, salary, sorry.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why I was just curious because I just put sales salary expense because it wasn't very specific about it.
Yeah, doesn't matter. If you had it in
Okay.
one of those, that's fine. Let's get this one posted.
So we're gonna go to office salary expense, and we're gonna post 50,000 for debit, and then we're gonna go to cash, and we're gonna post 50,000 for credit.
So what's our next one? Jones again.
we're on number 7, right?
Number 7. What type are we talking about?
Type 8,
What's
payment
type?
of liability. Payment of liability. And it's gonna be account payable and cash.
No, I told you the wrong one. It's 7. It said 8, but it's actually 7. That's Jenkins. You hear it, number 7.
So accounts receivable and sales.
What type is it?
15.
Okay.
And that is sale on account.
Okay.
And you debit two. Huh?
What you gonna debit?
You're gonna debit account receivable, and you're gonna credit sales.
What's the number for account receivable?
110 and 500 for sales.
Let's go ahead and post those. Where you gonna post them at?
Accounts receivable, you're gonna put on the debit side of 250,000, and on the sales T you're gonna credit sales 250,000.
Okay. Now we're on Jenkins.
Let's see. Number 8.
Correct.
All right, so it's gonna be a type 8.
What's the type 8?
What is it? It is a payment of a liability.
A payment of a liability.
And then I guess for the first one, it's gonna be you're gonna debit account payable, and then credit cash. And it's gonna be 150,000 for both, for debit and credit. And then the account numbers is 301 and cash is 100.
Okay. Moving right along. Jacobs, number 9.
You didn't want to put it in the thing, the T accounts?
That would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So we're gonna put in the T accounts at?
Account payable.
Okay, account payable. What side is it gonna go on? Debit
You
or
want
credit?
the debit side.
And what else we're gonna do?
You're gonna put 150,000 in the cash side on credit.
Okay. Jacobs.
All right, so number 9 is a type 3, which is a collection of, which is an account, which is a collection of accounts receivable.
Mm-hmm. So what you gonna debit?
You're going to debit cash and credit accounts receivable, and the amount is 200,000.
Why not credit sales?
Because you didn't earn anything. You're receiving.
Well, you earned it in this one here. You already earned it. Now you're collecting the cash. But sometimes some people like to credit sales here. But this 3 follows the 15. What's our account numbers? 100.
100 and 110.
Okay.
And then
Now,
for the posting, you're going to debit 200,000 for cash.
Debit 200,000 for cash.
And credit 200,000 for account receivable.
Okay. And our final one, AC.
I can do it if he's not here or she's not here.
I can do it.
Nah. I want to do it.
Bro, I call. Okay. You know, Professor Boyd, it's okay. You could choose. You could just pick random, I guess, since everyone wants to do it.
You should pick the person with the lowest grade, which is me. So yeah.
Hey, that's kind of smart. Let her do it. That's smart.
Yeah, let me do it. I'm kind of struggling in this class.
Can have everyone.
You could probably pick me, you know. And it's okay.
Chelsea,
I don't
you got
care.
like a 110 in this class.
The highest grade, maybe. Who knows? But
Pull back out because she was in here originally.
Shoot, I'll do it too. All my points.
We'll go to Dedrick because I think he needs more. No, Dedrick, you've had 2 times today, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you one more time today.
I thought Jennifer needed it the most.
Yeah, I need it the most.
No, she doesn't.
What do you mean? I'm okay.
You
Professor,
don't.
your shirt's so cool.
Wait, does that mean that my grade isn't that bad then?
They're coming up.
Professor Boyd, I really like your shirt.
Thank you.
Oh wait, never mind. You can skip me.
I can skip you?
Yeah. Wait.
No, too late now.
So does that leave me? If he doesn't want to do it, I don't mind doing it.
Oh yeah. Okay. No problem. I got it. I did it.
This is the best one to do, so you learn it. If you make a mistake now, it won't hurt you. So what's happening?
So
Professor Boyd, can you put it back up so we can all see
pay
it?
cash for 20,000.
Give me just a second. Let me. So this is another one where we're going to have those 3 accounts. So a principal and interest on the note. So what you going to do?
You gonna use no payable. It's gonna be 8 and 9, and interest expense and cash.
No payable. Cash. So how's this going to look? What are your debits going to be?
You gonna debit no payable and interest expense, and you gonna credit cash.
Okay, so what's the debit to no payable?
20,000.
What's the debit to interest expense?
$10,000. And 30,000 in cash.
This is the one people have a tendency to miss. But hopefully see how it's done. So the first one is what, an 8?
Mm-hmm.
Payment on liability. Then next one is what?
Payment of expense, 9.
9. So this is 100. What's our note payable account number?
350.
Oh.
What's interest expense?
680.
Okay, so let's get this one posted. So how are we gonna post it?
You're gonna debit 20,000 for no payable, and debit 10,000 for interest expense, and put credit on cash for 30,000.
Okay. So now we're finished, correct?
Mm-hmm.
With the journal entries. What's our next step?
Add them up.
The try balance, since we did do the T accounts as we went through the journal entries.
So Horton, I guess you're up first.
For the amount.
Got the debit side of the trial balance, so you got to do all of these debit accounts. Chelsea help you out some though, but
Okay, for cash, my number's gonna be off because I did something wrong. But for cash debit, I got 85,000. Well, 400,000 for your thing, but on mine, I got 400,000. I'm over here going ahead.
what are your credits?
315, like 315,000.
It's 325.
Yeah, I got my numbers wrong because I did one of my journal entries wrong. So yeah,
It's okay. I was just saying it's 325 so you don't add it up later on.
yeah.
So what's the balance in cash? How much cash you got? If you start out with 400, you spent 300.
It's gonna be 75,000.
Okay. So what do we do with the 75,000? Not the 400 to 325, but the balance 75,000. Put it right here. Cash 75,000.
Cash, and then you're gonna put 75,000 under the debits.
That's always kind of the hardest one. Then we go to account receivable. What's going to be the balance in account receivable?
It's gonna be 250,000 for the debits, and then I got 400,000. Again, my journal entry was wrong, but I guess it'll be
For the debit and 200 for the credit. So the balance in this account has to be what?
50,000.
50,000. So you see where your mistakes are?
Yeah, two of my journal entries, instead of doing accounts payable, I did accounts receivable. Yeah, I see where I went wrong.
That's 50,000. So you should have all the other ones correct, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
On inventory is what?
200,000
For debit.
You mind cooking?
And what else you got on the debit side? Inventory. Then we have what? Land?
Yeah, land. That's gonna be 150,000.
Okay, now at the intake, let's pick up with the liability, the credit side.
Professor Boyd, you forgot to put the 150,000
For what?
For land.
for land.
Thank you. Okay, so it's at the intake here.
I can go if you want.
Okay, so what do we have in accounts payable?
Account payable, we got 50,000 credited.
So everyone see this, if it's on the debit side in the ledger, we add them up, whatever that side is the ledger, we keep it there. Long-term notice what?
80,000 for credited.
Credit there.
You forgot to put the account payable. Oh wait, never mind. My bad. I saw you did it. My bad. But it's note payable.
And what's next?
That's in for the liabilities, like the stockholder equity, and the next will be common stock, which is 200,000. And that will also be credited.
So we're just going through this process so we can look at our balances and make sure we don't have any mistakes, that we're in balance. Any question about what we're doing? All we're doing is getting the balance in the accounts and transferring them over. Any questions by anyone? Everybody can do this.
Yep.
Yes.
Anybody can't do it. Common stock. I'm going to put retained earnings in here.
Did you want me to keep going or no?
Yeah, I guess so. Retained earnings, that's 0 right now.
Yes.
Sales.
No,
Yes.
it's dividends next.
Just for return earnings, I didn't put a 0. I just left that blank. Is that okay? Since we don't really have.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Sales is what?
Professor Boyd, the next one is dividends, not sales.
Oh, thank you.
I got a question, Prof.
Okay.
How do you know what order they're going again?
This is the order.
I always go back to the account sheet and whatever order they're in on there, the order they'll be on there. Okay.
Same order. We'll be a little off with the expenses, but other than that, they're going to be in that order.
Right. So if it was one that you probably had to make on your own, like a a T account thing that you had to like manually create, and there's like nothing at the top that kind of matches it. You just do whatever.
Pick the one that's closest. It's got to be something close to it. I just picked one. You got an example of one that we don't have anything for?
I think on the last test we did, it was rent. It was something like that'll be property expense.
Rent is 651.
But here they are here.
Oh, okay. No, it must have not been rent. I think it was one that wasn't on the sheet.
The one I'm curious about is scholarship. Like, I don't know where to put that under. Is there a account for that?
It would be charitable. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Are we ready to continue?
So we put in the common stock, the dividends, and the sales. We get sales in? No, dividends.
No, because it was dividends, and dividends was 20,000 in debited. Sorry, I've been talking like that all day.
So we're just pulling in these debits and credits to see if we're balanced. Then we're gonna go back to sales. And what's sales?
Sales is 250,000 credited.
So we only have one thing in there. And then what else do we have?
We have sales. I put is office salary sales. Expense.
Let's put salaries down.
Okay, salary expense.
Yeah.
And that was 50,000 on debited.
What else do we have?
We also had rent expense, and then we had interest expense.
How much was the rent?
25,000.
How much is the interest?
10,000.
Then we come to the down here to the bottom and put a total in. We come to the bottom and put a total in. What are the total assets? Total debits, excuse me.
You want me to answer that, Professor Boyd? What's the total of assets? Or what's the total for the trial balance?
Total trial balance debits.
Oh, the debits, it should be 580,000.
What are the credits?
It should be the same number. I did it on the I did it on the Excel, so that's how I know it's the same number.
Excel can help. So this is where we worked through the last exam, and this is the hardest part, correct?
No.
It's not.
Oh, okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who said that.
What's harder?
The end part, we got the
other
beginning now.
stuff. The closing journal entries.
No, I said making journal entries, posting to the ledger, and the trial balance is the most difficult part. Those three.
Yeah, we don't agree.
Then what follows is what? Very easy, right?
Yeah.
Everything below sales is going where? On the income statement. And we can just copy these. Okay, so what are our total expenses?
85,000.
So we put the 85 here. And this is somebody's assignment, right? Corral. But you don't been quiet.
I'm here.
I know you losing your points to somebody.
Oh, I didn't even know.
So sales is 250, expenses are 85. So what's your net income?
165.
Uh-oh. What about that, Heather? So all we did was to come to the bottom of the statement. We took the sales, put that here. We took the expenses and put them here. Then we subtracted our expenses from our revenue and got our net income. Any questions?
No.
Let's go to
Jason,
statement.
can I do another one?
If somebody's not here,
All right.
you can't be sleeping now. You got to be paying attention.
I'm not asleep.
Okay, so Williams will.
Am I only Williams?
Yep, you're the only Williams.
Okay. My journal entries was off. I was over $50,000 with my trial balance. But anyway, for the statement of retained earnings.
See now?
Hmm?
You see where
Yeah.
you issued? All right.
Yeah. Okay. So for the beginning, retained earnings was 0. Net income is $165,000. Subtotal, 165,000. Subtract 20,000 for your dividends. And your ending is 145,000.
Now that state was kind of easy, I think. I don't know.
I have a question. So
Yes.
I got all the numbers right and everything. The only question I have is, do we always put like the results in the last boxes? Because I put them in the first one.
But sometimes you might have sub numbers, but just use the last boxes.
Okay, thank you.
Camacho, are you ready for our balance sheet?
Yes, sir. So under current assets, I put cash, account receivable, inventory, and land.
Mr. Boyd, you forgot land.
Yeah, you forgot the land.
I think because land is going to be long term.
Is it?
Yeah, on the
It's still an
paper.
asset.
But does it go like, because okay, you see how it says assets at first, then it says long term asset. So I put it like under there. Is that right, Professor Boyd?
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I put that too. I did that. I put it all on the current.
Okay.
It's not like that on Excel. Should I just add that for Excel?
Yeah, so that's just a preliminary Excel. But what you should be doing is converting. You should be converting that Excel.
I can hear you, Professor Boyd. Leo, your thing is loud.
I'm sorry, I'm at work. Okay, so
And the
After,
land was how much?
excuse me?
150. The land was 150, right?
Yes, 150 for land.
So land is a long-term asset, and it goes here. So its current assets are what, 250 and 75? That's going to be 325.
Yes, 325.
Your long-term assets are 150.
So yes,
So
150.
the total assets are what?
The total assets should be 475.
Okay, so when we get the total stockholders and equity, we want to see the same thing. So Sims, are we ready? Sims here? Not?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. So we're going to come up here to this trial balance. What we're going to do on this side?
I'm kind of lost at this part.
Okay. The assets are at the top, and we're still dealing with everything from retained earnings up. So Heather, you ready to redeem yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Redeem yourself.
Okay. Okay, for the assets,
We
I
got the
just
asset.
put cash.
We already got the
Okay.
asset. See, so I
For the
told you weren't paying. Never mind. So what we're gonna do next?
the current liabilities, I put account payable for 50,000. And then for the long-term liability, I put note payable for 80,000.
So
And
50,000
then
for the current 150. So the total current is 50,000. Then the long term, this is our note, right?
yes, sir,
And how
for
much?
80,000.
So what's our total liabilities?
100,000. 130,000, my bad.
130,000. Now we got to go to stockholders' equity. So what's going to be in stockholders' equity?
Common stock and return earnings. For
So
common stock,
and retained earnings are going to be
200,000. And then for retained earnings, it's 145,000.
so say 200,000 for common stock.
Yes, sir.
But I thought retained earnings was zero.
Zero?
That's beginning return earnings. The ending return earnings is 145,000.
So we're just trying to get that clear so they realize we don't use beginning number zero, we use the ending number 145. You won't balance. So that's why she used the 145. So what's our total stockholders' equity?
345,000.
So what's our total liabilities and stockholders' equity?
475,000.
I have a question, Professor Boyd. Why? So I put dividends on mine. Is that wrong? And if so, why?
It's wrong because dividends is a temporary it's a temporary retained earnings account.
Oh,
All of these accounts below retained earnings are going to be
Or
closed out.
temporary. Okay. You're right. I remember now. Thank you.
So everything below retained earnings closed out, which is what we're going to do next. So we got the income statement done. We've got the statement retained earnings done. We got the balance sheet done. So we're almost finished. We just got to make 4 closing entries. And of course, post them. So Harrison, what's our first closing entry?
I ain't gonna lie, this is where I kind of dropped it too. At the starting of the balance sheet, I didn't understand it.
Okay. What we want to do is everything below retained earnings is a temporary account. At the end of the day, we want to come through we're going to get rid of all of those accounts because they're temporary accounts, and these journal entries are going to cause that to happen, and we'll be able to put in our new retained earnings to balance. So let's look at how we're going to do that. The first thing we're going to do is close out sales. So to close sales out, we have to debit it. So this is closing entry 1, debit sales and credit income summary, a temporary account that we have to handle the closing. And the sales were how much?
250,000.
Okay. So we debit sales 250, and we're going to credit income summary 250. Now we got to post this. So anytime you make a journal entry, you got to post it. And I don't think I have it in a room up here for income summary. So I'm going to just put income summary here. So income summary is just a temporary holding account, the closing, so we don't have a lot of entries in retained earnings. So when we post that entry, we're going to debit sales 250. And we're going to credit income summary 250. So we're in the process of closing out every account below the line. So that's one thing we're doing. And we're moving from a zero balance in retained earnings to the new balance. You can't just put the change in there. You got to make these journal entries for that to happen. So do you see that counter now, Harrison? Let's just go through the process. Jenkins,
Yeah, I see. Yes, sir.
Okay, Jenkins.
What's up?
Closing entry number 2.
Oh, I'm still lost. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. So let's see we can get.
So
Did you want me to do it or?
The second one is for the expenses, right?
That's correct.
Oh, I think I can do this one.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're going to debit, of course, income summary for 85,000 because that was the total of all the expenses. And then you're going to credit rent for 25,000. And then salary for 50,000. And the interest for 10,000.
Okay, now we got to post these. So we're going to come up here to the income summary. Now we're going to debit it for 85,000. Then we're going to credit all these expenses. Dollar expense 50,000. So we've used these. We calculate the income. We got to get ready for the next year, and so we don't need these expenses anymore. They need to be cleared out so we can put new expenses in the next year. The closing entries are closing out all the expenses. Now we need closing entry number 3. That's Lee.
So I put income summary for 145,000, and I also put retained earnings for 145,000 also, but I wasn't sure if that was right.
After I took my time and sent that stuff to you, you're gonna tell me you don't think it's right. You don't know if it's right. So I remembered to send it to you. So you should have been saying, he sent this to me, he remembered. I'm gonna make sure I get this right. So what's the amount in closing entry 3, Lee? What's the amount, Darian, that's always in closing entry 3? It is always what, Chelsea?
It's always the ending return earnings.
Is it always 0?
The net income.
Thank you, Heather. It's always the net income.
Oh, sorry. I was a little distracted. That's why I was like, when she said 145, I was looking. I was like, I hope I didn't get this wrong.
So it's
But okay.
165, right? And the net income 165.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so there's a tendency to want to make the entry there 145, but that won't work, and we'll see why in just a second. So let's post this 165 debit, 65 credit. Now let's go post this entry. So when we post it, the income summary now has a debit of 165,000, and retained earnings now gets a credit of 165. Okay. So it might look like it might be supposed to be 145, but why is it not 145? So now income summary has done its job and it's done for the day. Why is it not 1? What else do we have to do? Who knows this? Whitehurst knows this.
Take away the dividends. The dividends go at 4.
So we got to make the closing entry for dividends. So what's that closing entry going to be, Heather?
Okay. Let me see. Okay, you're gonna put in retained earnings for 20,000, and then dividends for 20,000.
So we're debiting retained earnings for 20,000 and crediting what, dividends?
Yes, sir.
Now let's post this entry. So we go and we post this. So we go debit retained earnings for 20,000. We're going to credit dividends for 20,000. So now the dividends have been closed out. So that final account below the line is closed out. So Chelsea, what's the balance of retained earnings now?
I'm sorry, the balance is what isn't one
145.
145.
145.
I'm sorry.
145.
Tongue twister. 145. I need to go to the doctor for my stuttering.
Okay.
Okay. So you see, this is how we get 145. We don't put 145 in closing entry 3. We put the net income in, then we put the dividends in, and that's what gets it to 145. So just keep that in mind. That you got 2 journal entries that bring it to 145. But you don't just say the balance is 145, because when this journal entry was made, boom, and if you have a beginning balance, it will be off even further. Okay, so how we coming now?
So far, so good. It's just little things to consider.
The only thing I forgot was the long-term thing, liability. That was the only thing I forgot.
You had everything else?
Yeah, I had everything else.
I had everything except the closing statement, but I get it now.
Yeah, mine was just retained earnings. Like I had everything, but I forgot to put them in the T accounts. Like it just slipped my head.
So on Tuesday, we go on to financial statement problem 3. And you already have it. You already have financial statement problem 3 because it's trial balance exam 3. So that's your next one, and you should be, after a week of doing this and seeing this twice, everybody should be ready to go. We've gone over the whole thing, everything we've done for this whole week. And so on Tuesday, I expect everybody to be able to do that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear anything you said. You was cutting out, so I had to leave and come back. So what were you saying?
On Tuesday, we go to exam 3, homework 3. So on Tuesday, I want most of the people to have that done and correct. I mean, I want you to learn how to do it, to practice it, so you'll be ready for a quiz by next Thursday.
Sounds good.
So we're going to do the whole thing again on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to have a quiz for this material to see where we are so that we can get ready for the midterm exam, which is the final full thing. So I'll talk about adjusting interest briefly next time. But the key thing is that, you should be getting enough of a familiarity now. There's a lot of steps. And if you use those Excel sheets, it would probably help you a lot better. A lot of the things would come through easier for you. Okay? So let's try to, yes.
I had a question about the Excel. So when you have it on the Word document from the Excel, it doesn't have the long-term, short-term, like assets and liabilities. Did you want me to add that in there?
Correct.
Because I just put all of it in one, but because it doesn't say I have to add it, but I don't mind adding it. I just didn't know.
I want you to update. That's just a general template. So I want you to update that template to put current and long-term in. Also, beginning of the year and end of the year. So we'll give you some work to do. So just
Are
like,
you gonna briefly go over how to do that to the beginning to end of year?
yeah. So just put it in. So put it in like this, okay? So the way you see it on here, update the template for that, and then send it to me so I could put it in there for everybody, okay?
So you want me to update the template like basically?
Yeah.
And then send it to you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want me to email it to you?
Yeah, just email it.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. So about this, when did you want us to get started on the 70? Oh wait, you say you're gonna pick who's gonna do the 72 questions, right?
It'll be based on that quiz on Thursday.
Okay.
Plus performances Friday, but if you you got confidence in everything.
Me? Confidence? No confidence. What?
You have an A average.
Okay.
That is, you need 90 points or higher for the first period. Then I'm going to see how you do on the on the exam on this material. Okay. So how we feeling? How's everybody feeling today after day 2 on these?
More confident
I'm
about
good.
Well, how's everybody else feeling?
I feel better.
I feel better as well.
Have a good rest of the day.
All right, buddy.
Everybody's feeling better. So let's feel confident on Tuesday, okay? So I'm glad y'all feeling better.
Yeah, just gotta look at it a little bit more now.
Okay. Well, that's why I said this was probably a good way to do it. So we're just hitting it 4 days in a row, and by the time we've done it 4 days in a row, you should be where you need to be.
Okay. So you say the people who talk get like 5 points, right?
Yeah.
I got 10.
Yeah.
I think I've got on the problem, I got your names and I added names. So I'll be adding the points based on that.
All right, that's cool.
Okay. So we're
All right,
billing
Professor.
homework points this way, rather than you just turning something in to me that you have worked on. You know, we're sort of doing it. Okay, I want to be a little more serious, so you got to present it. So I will assign everything on that exam, on the quiz coming up too. So everything, so the point, you turn it in, but the points are coming when you talk in class. So you really not getting points for turning it in. You're getting points for answering and explaining in class.
Do you have any more office hours?
Yes, when you want them.
I was just asking. I didn't know if you already had like a set date.
2:30.
Do you have any earlier ones? I have class then.
Monday, 2:30.
Yeah, one of the office hours.
Okay, I can't. So can we do like 12 or something like that?
On Monday?
Yeah, because Monday I have to fly. So I fly from 3 to 5. So I'm already at the airport at 2:30.
So 12 to 1, because I got a meeting at 1. So 12 to 1, and we can have other times in. We can go, but let's just shoot for 12 to 1 on Monday.
On here? On Go to Mimi?
Yeah, on this Go to Meeting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I need to meet you too, Mr. Boyd.
When do you want to meet?
When is best for you?
Well, what day or what time on Monday works for you?
We can do around, what time is your meeting in?
It ends at 2:30. It ends by 2:15. So I'll be back on at 2:30.
Okay, so around that time, okay, we can do 2:30. I can do 2:30.
Okay.
I want to meet with you too, Professor Boyd.
What time?
Anytime. I'm free on Monday. I have only online classes on Monday and Wednesday.
So why don't we do the 2:30?
Okay. But yeah, my the main thing I wanted to talk to you about was the 72 questions. That's basically it.
Okay.
And also and also the part with the beginning return earnings. And that's it. That's all I needed to talk to you about.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go.
Okay. So we're continuing to push on this with the hope that we're going to get everybody in good position so everybody is passing the midterm. So that's the goal. Everybody who's here now.
For sure.
Hi, Dr. Boyd.
Hello, Miss Blessings.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm trying to be great.
Great. You're trying to be great. Now you're supposed to be great. You're a
Work in
graduate.
progress. Work in progress.
I'll get those things to you either later today or tomorrow.
Okay, that would be nice. I will work on it immediately I get it and I'll send it back.
Okay.
Yeah, but the issue on ground right now is how to get students to register for the Deloitte stuff by on Monday.
You know, when we did the banking thing, there are about 40 students there.
40?
40.
Yeah, that's nice. That's the goal, Dr. Boyd. Because I'm trying to have them, because, you know, this is the first time TSU is having a recruiter from Deloitte. So I'm trying to make sure that the person is encouraged enough to want to do a great job with us. And the only way to do that is with the numbers that show up.
So what day is it going to be on?
It's on Wednesday, next week, Wednesday. But students have till Monday to RSVP next week Monday.
Now, do you think you can go into my assignments and put that in announcements?
Yeah, I can do that. I can figure it out. Yeah, on Blackboard, correct?
So now it's been acting up though. I'll go ahead.
Oh, you know, if yours is acting up, you know what you have to do? You just have to clear out your search history.
Yeah, I did do that. But then as soon as I went back on it again, I had to clear it out again.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it keeps doing that. I've cleared mine out twice, and now
Okay.
that I try to log into yours, it's having the same issue, it's telling me to clear it out again. Like I don't
Okay.
know what's going on with that.
I'm
But
gonna
this
go.
is
I'm gonna go ahead and put it in right now.
okay. Thank you. That would be so wonderful.
Okay. And I've got office hours tomorrow at 3 with the accounting too, so you can come in there and talk about it.
Okay, tomorrow at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is Friday, correct?
Yes, Friday.
Okay. I'll set an alarm for 3 p.m. Dr. Boyd class. What class is that? Would that be the 23104?
No, that's the 23202.
Okay.
The morning, the Tuesday 232. So why don't you come for that, and then that way we'll remember and we can encourage them and explain it to them.
Okay, and their time is at 3, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm adding to my calendar.
That busy calendar.
I'm
Okay.
trying to be like you.
Oh, are you?
Okay, Dr. Lloyd, I'll be on the lookout for your email, and thank you so much for adding the stuff to your assignment announcement. And I'll be
Okay.
there tomorrow at 3 p.m. to speak to your students.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna go into Blackboard and put it in there now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good one.
Bye. Have a great one.
All right, bye.